Tahoe Today Show. Yeah, we got him live here in the studio. We're going to take a quick commercial break and then get, oh no, we can. No, we can. Direct me, Director Kevin Beck. We're going to go straight to the interview. How are you this morning?
I'm doing good.
Thanks for coming here from North Carolina?
North Carolina, that's right.
Oh my gosh. What are you doing out in Tahoe?
There is a conference at Grand Labakan for people who have adopted kids or are connected to adoption. And so I came out here to help that conference go better. I go around the country helping conferences become more effective by using audience polling technology to help people connect to the presenters and connect to each other. So I came here to do that for this conference.
Now, is that why you wrote this book?
That is exactly why I wrote that book. That book, I've been doing large-scale crowd work and events for years. I also do a lot of work on race relations and having people have better dialogue about a variety of topics. And I have found that the technology of audience response devices, whether it's these kind of devices that are separate devices or cell phones or tablets, it really changes what a meeting is because people become more connected to what's going on stage. They go from being an audience to participants if you ask the right questions. You ask the right questions and people see themselves in light of the diversity of answers in the room, and they feel more a part of a community. It also helps groups figure out what they want to do. You know how you go to a meeting and there's a lot of yammering, and then at the end you don't know what happened. What happened there? Well, some people spoke, some people didn't. This changes all that if you use it properly. So this book is the first book that's about this topic.
That's fascinating. So tell me, just out of curiosity, what is the average attention span? I feel I've gone to conferences before, sat in a room all day long, listened to the presenter, and there's a certain amount of time I feel like goes by where that wall gets built between me sitting there and the presenter, and you just kind of glaze over.
What I'm told as a professional speaker is that you have to keep people's interest. Do something dramatic about every 7 minutes because longer than that, often people start to kind of glaze out. So part of what this can do is to do something, give the speaker an option to do something that keeps people engaged, keeps them connected to you in front of the room, and also it makes you more responsive to what's happening because you ask the audience a question. You ask them a question. What do you think about this topic? You see the diversity of answers, you see an answer instantly, you have to say something to that. So it gives any kind of experience an aliveness, an organic nature that often you don't have in your typical boring conferences or panels or whatever.
Totally, it's fascinating. So every 7 minutes, if you have a conference that you're putting on, or you're, say, hotel casino out there that has these massive conference rooms, this is what you do. You think, wow, every 7 minutes, that's a tough thing to do. What are the tips are in here on how to create that excitement every
Well, I'm not saying you do it every 7 minutes, but I am saying that
here's some tools.
The neuroscience says that people tend to zone out. And so what you want to do is to really make sure you're delivering your content in a way that's interesting and exciting. And my point is that there's a new tool that changes what meetings are. It changes what it means to have a conference or a workshop, or to give a talk or have a panel, or even a meeting, a community meeting where you're trying to sort out what do we want to do? What do we want to do about crime in our community?
Yeah.
What do we want to do about a new plan for the city planning department? My background, my PhD is in urban planning. So I know that sometimes communities want to get together and have a conversation, but what often happens is that a few people go up to the mic and they dominate. And some people don't say what they want, don't have a chance to say what they want. This tool changes all that. It allows everybody to have a voice and everybody to speak. I call it speed polling to enhance input and knowledge, or SPEAK. As I think we need to rename it, because a lot of this technology is often called audience response systems, or ARS. That sounds like arse, and I don't think that's a good term, but I think it's speak technology so that everybody can speak and be heard, and I think you get much more effective engagements.
Now you have hanging around your neck today not just credentials to get you into your conference, but some of this technology. What they look like little calculators.
They're little calculators. Again, I use a particular company, a company called Turning Technologies, but there's other companies that use cell phones, like Poll Everywhere is one of the biggest ones. So basically, you somebody programs what are the questions and where do they go in your agenda. And at the various points, you ask the audience adult multiple choice questions, usually multiple choice. Sometimes you can ask text message questions, and people enter their answer, and then you see a picture of the diversity of answers, and we all get to see, yes, I'm in there, and we see the room. And what it also does, it changes group attention, not just to me. I'm not just thinking about my response. I'm seeing my response in the context of the group response.
Yeah,
and that
that's
helps
huge.
people running a meeting, because what the people running a meeting are concerned about the group and getting everybody into that group consciousness of what are we doing? What are the problems as we see it? What are the solutions that we want? It helps produce a better conversation and a better conference, or a better sense of conclusion about what we want to do. And often you go to meetings and you don't know at the end what people want, what you want to do. There's lack of clarity. This helps address that.
Absolutely. That sounds like fantastic. The technology is out there. You have put it together in a fantastic form, and people can get more information.
Yes, they can
from
get more.
The book.
Exactly. ReadTheRoomForReal.com. The book is out. It's available on Amazon today. Thank you so much for holding up the book. I really appreciate it.
Fantastic.
Because I am trying to reach all sorts of people. I'm trying to reach venues, like resort venues, to give them a competitive edge over others. I think that in the 50 years from now, we'll all use this. I don't know if you're old enough to remember the time before the spreadsheet. There was a time in which there was before the spreadsheet. The spreadsheet came out, and now we recognize this is just a better way of doing business.
Sure.
This is a better way of having meetings. I think in 50 years, we'll all use this. And so what I'm interested in is trying to reduce the time in which it's universally adopted. So I'd be interested in talking to venues here in Tahoe. I love this area. I love skiing up here. I love snowboarding.
Yeah, you talk about coming and visiting Tahoe
I do want
frequently.
to do that. And I would be interested in reaching out to these venues here to say, how can this be a competitive advantage to our venue? So, and for that matter, for Tahoe venues in general, because people are choosing Tahoe or the other places. What if this is how we did things in Tahoe? We made our conferences were more engaging. They were more dynamic. You got more out of them. People were more interested. That might be a competitive advantage for either a particular resort here or resorts in general here versus other places. I think that there's again, 50 years from now, we'll all be using this. It's just a question of how long we'll take and when people get on board. And I'm trying to get that train going immediately.
You got me fired up. And how can people get in touch with you? Because if you're watching the show right now, I know you're probably thinking of tons of ideas also. This is an awesome opportunity. How can people get in touch with you?
Sure. Again, Read the Room for Real is the name of the book, is also my website, ReadTheRoomForReal.com, just like that sounds, Read the Room for Real. And you can buy the book on Amazon right now.
Awesome.
I released it on Independence Day because I want America to declare its independence from bad meetings. We have so many bad meetings. In fact, I wrote a Huffington Post article about that. It's called Independence Day 2.0, More Democracy Every Day. You can look it up on Huffington Post right now.
Fantastic.
I just think that I am so excited about the idea that we can change our experience of meetings. And more meetings can feel like, the sense of communion that can happen sometimes. If you have a good meeting and you feel connected to the task, you feel connected to other people, it feels different. We can have meetings like that all the time. We just need to figure out a way to hear from everybody more effectively, and this is the way to go.
I absolutely love it. On Amazon, Dr. David Campt, thank you very much for stopping by the studio this morning. And Read the Room for Real is the book. You want to hold a meeting, or you have any ideas on what this can be used for? I mean, it's not just the big casinos, smaller hotels, nonprofits, businesses.
You have a public meeting, people need to say,
Right?
why are we not using a technology that's cheap, that's easy to use? We need to start speaking up for, we can have better meetings. So if we're not using it, we need to ask the people who are running a meeting, why are we not using that? I know we can. I read a book about it.
Board meetings, government meetings, all of
right.
it. It's
That's
a
right.
sport. Read the Room for Real. You can find it on Amazon, Amazon.com. There you go. We'll be back right after this.